Welcome to another edition of Points of Interest, brought to you by the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Paul Boucher. I'm the President and CEO of the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. And as we do each week, we present you with the activities going on this week to keep you informed, things to do. And we also have a guest, and this week is no different. And I have Bob Ellis with us this week from the Visiting Nurse Hospice Association. And I'll be talking about some programs that they're doing here in the Upper Valley interest. But first, the activities for this particular week. We have in Lebanon here at the Lebanon Opera House on Wednesday evening, the Banff Mountain Film Festival World Tour, and that's at 7 p.m. It's a selection of 10 films that reflect a wide range of mountain experiences. And that's at the Lebanon Opera House this particular Wednesday. We have Red Cross Blood Drive in Lebanon also on Wednesday at the Ellis Memorial Hospital, and that's for people 16 or older. There's always a need for blood, and they will be beginning at noon to 5 p.m. But if there's a line there, they will stay as long as they need to be to get everyone who's willing to donate their blood. We have also on Wednesday a guided snowshoe tour and hike. This is in an infield. And with the snows that we had earlier in the week, there's plenty of snow on the ground, nice and soft now, where it was a little hard and icy before, but there's plenty on the ground. And this snowshoe tour is going to be at the Enfield Shaker Museum from 1:30 to 3 p.m. This coming Wednesday, right there on Route 4A. And so if you want to get out and snowshoe and cross-country skiing, that is the place to go this week. We have on Friday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Speed the Plow in Enfield. That's at the Shaker Bridge Theater, and that's in Whitney Hall, right there on Main Street. And it's a satirical look at Hollywood from playwright and film director David Mamet. And that runs, as I mentioned, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Shaker Museum. The performances are at 7:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Here in Lebanon, on Saturday, Girls Fitness Festival, and this is at the Carter Witherall Center here in Lebanon from 9:30 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. It's a introduction to fitness and strength training for girls 4 to 14. And it's a free event, so if anybody is interested in that and need more information, you may call 448-5121. And as I mentioned, 9:30 to 1:15 p.m. is that particular program. As a fundraiser over in Canaan, the Spanish Club is doing a Spanish dinner, and that is at the high school. And the menu includes salads, nachos, and I'm not going to pronounce the other ones right, chichimungas and quesadillas, I think I got it right, as a fundraiser for their Spanish club. And that is on Saturday, 5:30 to 7:30 at the high school. We also have a snowshoe or hike in Lebanon, and that is on Saturday. And this is going to be at Farnham Hill off of Poverty Lane. So if you go up Poverty Lane to the Poverty Lane Orchard, there's a parking lot up there, and you can park there. But I don't have the time, so I'll suggest you call 802-299-5866 for times for that particular location. And there's some beautiful trails up there that lead up to some beautiful scenic vistas of Lebanon itself. We'll be talking about this again a little further as the event comes along, but we have the State Ballet Theater of Russia is coming to town February 8th and 9th at 7:30 p.m., both performances, and that is going to be at the Lebanon Opera House, and they're going to be performing Romeo and Juliet. So I would suggest that you call for tickets early, because I'm sure this will be a sellout. As again, the State Ballet Theater of Russia putting on Romeo and Juliet. 448-0400 is the phone number for the Lebanon Opera House to make your reservations. We have Camerata of New England is going to be performing on this coming Saturday, the 2nd, at St. Barnabas Episcopal Church in Norwich. They performed here in Lebanon in November, and will be back here in March. And this particular group that they're doing is the Piano Trio, and they're quite a group. And they have, this is the second season that they do this type of performances. And they also provide instruments and lessons to elementary school students. I know through the Lebanon Rotary Club contributed some funds to support buying instruments for their particular programs and for the kids that they teach at schools. So that is this coming Saturday in Norwich. We also have coming up is the Citizens Bank Home Series, and that is a free event sponsored by the Citizens Bank and the Opera House here in Lebanon. And the 7th, Thursday the 7th, is when they're going to do it, 7 p.m. And the group this time is a local group called Turkey Point Swim Club. And their acoustic artist is John Goodwich, and who's going to be performing, and that is on the 7th of February, and we'll talk about it again next week as time approaches. There's also some events going on at Ava Gallery, and the 5th annual Best of the Upper Valley High School exhibition. And this is put together with different high school students who, in their particular crafts, be it painting, be it ceramics, that type of thing. And they are judged and provided with some scholarship money, provided by a lot of the nonprofits, Rotary clubs, and that type of thing here in Lebanon. So that is beginning February 8th through March 1st, and you'll be able to go see these works that these students have done and vote on what you think are the best ones in that particular class. We also have, and this has been a continuing thing, for businesses who are looking for a little advice and counsel, and we have SCORE, which is the Senior Corps of Retired Executives that have an office in, I call it the Citizens Bank building on the 3rd floor, and they do counseling for small businesses. Either you're in business, you have an idea you want to start a business, or just education. They have a lot of seminars on QuickBooks or things of that nature, setting up your accounting books. So they're doing it every Wednesday from 9 to 1. No appointment necessary. Walk in and they will hook you up with a particular person who's an expert, if you will, on a particular area that you are interested in, either opening your business or on your existing business that you have. So those are some of the activities going on in the Upper Valley this coming week. And we welcome Robert Ellis, who is Director of the Business Development and Marketing for the VNA, which is the Visiting Nurse Association. And Robert, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
A little about your background, where you were from, education, that type of thing,
Okay.
and how you came to this particular job.
All right. I actually am a native of the Midwest. Grew up in Chicago, Illinois. Had 4 brothers and a sister, six in the family, and I'm the only one that ever left. Everyone else is still in the Chicago area. My wife and I came out here. I worked at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center for 11 years. We left here when I went to work for General Electric Medical Systems at that time. We lived in Massachusetts, and then we moved to New York. I did 11 years with Sony Electronics in the northern New Jersey area. And then 3.5 years ago, my wife and I moved back here to the Upper Valley. My wife is a nurse. She's back working at the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center. And I've been working for the last almost 4 years at the Visiting Nurse and Hospice.
Excellent, very good. Visiting nurse, if somebody is not familiar with the organization, what can you tell us about the Visiting Nurse Association?
We've actually been servicing both sides of the Connecticut River Valley for over 100 years. Our organization was originally founded in 1907.
Wow.
So we had our 100-year anniversary in 2007. We cover about 125 towns and just over 4,000 square miles in New Hampshire and Vermont. In the north, we go as far north as Wells River, Vermont, and Woodsville, New Hampshire in the north, all the way down to Brattleboro, Vermont, and Winchester, New Hampshire in the south. So it's a very, very large territory. We have about 250 employees. That includes clinical staff as well as administrative staff. We see approximately 6,000 patients per year. On any given day, we have anywhere from 800 to 1,000 patients on our average daily census. And I guess,
The service you provide for these people.
yeah, the services that we provide is actually pretty wide-ranging. We provide home health care services, what you typically think of as patients who may have a total hip replacement that need physical therapy when they go home. We provide hospice services, which is end-of-life care support, which is a multidisciplinary team that would include chaplains, social workers, skilled nursing, home health aides, et cetera, et cetera. We also provide pediatric care and pediatric hospice care. We provide long-term care, and we provide community wellness programs that are everything from blood pressure checks to flu clinics this time of year.
Excellent. And the program, particularly that's come to light that you'd like to talk to us about today.
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I think we're the first agency in this part of New England that are actually going to be introducing a fleet of new cars that will actually be branded with the VNA and Hospice of Vermont and New Hampshire. So we're going to be launching, it's a pilot study, so we're going to start with just 15 cars. Some of them will be out of our office in Lebanon, New Hampshire, and those will be turned over this week on December 30th in Lebanon. And we also have a southern office in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Those cars will be turned over on Thursday the 31st. So I just wanted to ask our viewers to keep your eyes open. You'll probably see those cars out on the roads beginning this week.
And the purpose of the vehicles?
The purpose of the vehicles, because of the size of our territory, if you look across the board at the agency, we log more than 1.5 million miles per year. So we're leasing this fleet of cars to, it actually, believe it or not, will lower our operating costs because it'll provide people with more reliability. They will pay a nominal fee per month, which will give them unlimited personal use of the car when they're not at work. And I think it'll help with recruitment and retainment because it'll be a reliable vehicle that these people can use.
So they'll have these vehicles 24/7 with them.
That's
and
correct.
just pay their portion when they use it for personal use.
That's correct.
So they don't have to go to a location, drop the car off, pick up a car and go.
That's
They're
right.
ready to go.
They pick up the car and take it home
off they go.
at the end of the day.
Excellent. So we'll be seeing these cars up and down the...
You should be
Yeah, well,
starting
yeah,
to see
yeah.
them later this week.
Yeah. And then one thing we didn't mention at the outset is the Home Life Show that the Lebanon and Hanover Chambers do every March at the Leverone Fieldhouse. This year it's March 15, 16, and 17. And we've been talking with VNA about, you'll be able to see the car there at the show. They will have one in one of the booths. And so you'll be able to see what they're doing. Other programs that VNA is bringing forth, or?
Sure. There are, in the state of Vermont, there are 10 not-for-profit visiting nurse agencies. And every year we try to do some type of an initiative together. And this year I'm particularly excited that we've put together a program that we're calling Start the Conversation. And Start the Conversation is geared around helping people to take the time to start to plan for their end-of-life care options. You know, one of the things we say is in life we plan for everything. We plan for our wedding, we plan for college educations, but seldom do we prepare for our end of life. And so this is an initiative that all 10 of the agencies in Vermont, you can actually get additional information at www.starttheconversationvt.com. We're the only agency in Vermont that also covers territory in the state of New Hampshire. So we're promoting this initiative on both sides of the river in New Hampshire and Vermont. We're actually running community events to get the word out into the communities. If you go to our website, which is www.vnavnh.org, you can find the Start the Conversation events where those are being held. And I like to tell a story because it has personal meaning to me, that just under 2 years ago, my mother took a turn for the worse. And I went home. As I mentioned, I have 5 siblings. And we all met with my mother and talked about what her end-of-life care wishes were, which I can't tell you in retrospect how happy I am that we did it, because we were all very clear, all 6 of us, on exactly what my mother wanted when it came to the end of her life. And it just made the journey so much better for the entire family, because we all knew exactly what her wishes were, and there weren't 6 people making 6 different guesses about what that was. So I'm excited about this program, and hopefully people in our service area will take advantage of it.
For that particular program. You're located here in West Lebanon.
In West Lebanon.
But you don't have to come in or anything like that. People need services. I know, as I had mentioned earlier, my wife had hip replacements, and VNA came in there, did a great job with physical therapy and OT and PT,
Right.
too. Occupational therapy, and when she had both of them done, and it was they were excellent, and she adores them actually. So they're great people to have around. So if you have any needs for the type of services that Bob mentioned, certainly feel free to call them. You have a number that they can call.
I'll give you a toll-free number. It's 1-888-300-8853. And if you have a need for home care or hospice services, or if you have a neighbor that could benefit from home care and hospice services, please call our toll-free number and let us know.
Excellent. Anything else going on that we need to know?
The only other thing that people may find interesting is because of the fairly radical changes that we're seeing in the healthcare environment nowadays, particularly with the introduction of accountable care organizations, of which Dartmouth is a member of the Pioneer. They call it the Pioneer Accountable Care Organization. What's happening with accountable care, it's beginning in 2013. There'll be additional changes in 2014 and 2015. But hospitals will be penalized in their Medicare reimbursement if patients with certain diagnoses are re-hospitalized within 30 days after discharge.
Oh.
So what we're doing is running pilot studies with several of the hospitals in our service area, including the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, which is targeted at front-loading a number of visits with a multidisciplinary team of clinical people to try to do a better job at managing these patients' complex medical needs and to keep them from being readmitted. So we'll continue to move forward with that, and hopefully I'll see you again in a few months and I can give you an updated report.
Sure, how that is. That's got to be a challenge. Not every case is the same, so that you can treat the patient and not have reoccurrence within 30 days.
Within 30 days.
And so that's it's pretty strict on the hospital or the healthcare provider to do something like that.
I'll give you a good example for the 3 diagnoses that are being looked at this year by Medicare are heart failure, heart attack, and pneumonia. And if you just take the one diagnosis of congestive heart failure, in 2010, readmissions within 30 days after discharge cost the U.S. healthcare system about $17 billion.
Wow.
Just for that one diagnosis. So it's going to be in all of our interest to try to limit those readmissions any way possible.
That they can do. That's excellent. That's excellent. And it's good for the patient also,
Mhm.
too. Well, Bob, we thank you very much for being with us
Thank
today,
you.
and I'm sure that you've enlightened our audience on the activities, and watch for those little cars up and down the valley.
Thank you, Paul. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. So that is another edition of Points of Interest, brought to you by the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be back next week with another program. Until then.